Right, good evening and welcome to Just the News. I'm Faye. We take a look at what's making headlines across the country today. In the next few minutes, we'll give you all the news you need to know without any of the drama. An update right now on the unfortunate hijab ban controversy in Karnataka that seems to have dominated the headlines across the country. We've had a response from the High Court, the Karnataka High Court that's been hearing the matter over the last few days. Of a single judge bench, Justice Krishna Dikshit has referred the petitions to a larger bench. Now remember, these were petitions filed by Muslim female students who said that their rights were being infringed upon by the colleges that were not allowing them to attend class because of their hijab. Justice Dikshit said, and I quote, "In view of the enormity of the questions of importance which are being debated, the court is of the considered opinion that the Chief Justice should decide on a larger bench to be constituted on the subject matter," which means a bench of more judges will take a closer look at this entire question on whether or not the hijab should be allowed inside of classrooms. The bench was also of the view that there would be no interim relief provided to the petitioners in the meantime. Now, this actually puts the whole thing in a flux because, as you'll remember, the colleges were waiting for the High Court to give direction, and in the meantime, the students were not being allowed to attend any class at all. So, without any interim relief, it would seem likely that the students, unless they agree to take the hijab off, will not be able to attend class until the larger bench is put together. The larger bench hears the matter entirely and gives its decision. In the meantime, an order by the Bengaluru Police Commissioner has said that there will be no gathering, agitation or protests allowed within a 200-meter radius of any school, college or junior college in the city of Bengaluru for the next 2 weeks, starting February 9th until the 22nd of February. The Karnataka state government's Minister for Primary and Secondary Education has weighed in on the video that went viral yesterday from Mandya. You'll remember that video, everybody saw it, of a singular Muslim girl who arrived on campus on a two-wheeler and when walking to the building was heckled by a large number of men or boys who were wearing saffron scarves. The minister has now weighed in, effectively defending those boys. He has said that the students did not want to girao the girl who was coming in from outside in the college in Mandya. No student was around her when she shouted Allahu Akbar. We cannot encourage Allahu Akbar or Jai Shri Ram on campus. End quote. I told you about the video that he is actually referring to. According to Deccan Herald, the young woman said that she came to college to submit an assignment, and upon entering the premises, protesting men chanted slogans of Jai Shri Ram, to which she responded with chants of Allahu Akbar. She said, "I was stopped at the gate by a group of students. They asked me to enter college without burqa, else go back home." She resisted, she said, and she also said that 90% of those hecklers were not students from her college. In other information coming in from Parliament, and this is unfortunate information, also we must put out a trigger warning on this information before we go any further. Some of our viewers who are already in distress might find the information a little distressing. The central government has informed Lok Sabha today that over 17,000 farmers died by suicide across the country between the years of 2018 and 2020. This number is very high. But there's another number that's even higher and that's even worse. The centre informed Rajya Sabha that over 25,000 Indians have died by suicide either because of unemployment or indebtedness. Basically, they weren't able to pay off their loans between the same period of 2018 and 2020. As many as 9,140 people died of suicide due to unemployment, 16,000 people due to bankruptcy and indebtedness during the same time period. According to the data, suicide among the unemployed have been increasing and have been the highest in the pandemic year of 2020. In 2018 and 2019, it was a little over 2,000. Combined with the farmer suicides, this actually is a very telling sign of how grave the situation is with our economy, especially for those people running small businesses at this time. We hope they find relief. The High Commission of India at Canada, at Ottawa, has issued an advisory to Indian citizens in Canada, those who are planning to travel to Canada, to exercise a high degree of caution and remain alert. This comes in the middle of protests, as we've been telling you, of truckers in Canada, in Ottawa and other cities, about the COVID vaccine mandates. To give you context, again, this is called the Freedom Convoy. There was a rule made in Canada that any trucker who wished to cross the border into the US or from the US into Canada would have to be fully vaccinated. There was a protest that began with just truckers, and it has now the protest is spread across most of Canada. Most of them are asking for these rules, these specific COVID rules, to be removed altogether. And a piece of positive news before we leave you for today. Indian documentary feature called Writing with Fire, directed by Rintu Thomas and Shushmit Ghosh, has made it to the final list of nominations for the Oscars of 2022 for Best Documentary Feature category. This is the first all-India independent production to make it to the final nomination category. In December, it made it to the Oscars shortlist among 15 films. The documentary tells the story of the women behind Khabar Lahariya, India's only newsroom to be run entirely by Dalit women, who write stories about victims of caste, about gender violence, about police atrocities, using their smartphones mostly. You must also make it a point to check out Khabar Lahariya. They do some amazing work and they could really use our support. That brings us to the end of the news today. Thank you so much for watching. Do take a look at our YouTube page and subscribe to our YouTube page. It will help us do more work for you. In the meantime, have a good night. Goodbye.